Hey guys, I'm Sara, and I'm so excited to introduce you guys to my new podcast, Constitution Unlocked. I got the idea for my podcast when one day a teacher was explaining how a bill gets passed. I remember that no one in the room, me included, understood or even had an idea of how this process worked. This amazed me. I remember thinking to myself, how do we as students not understand something that affects us so much? I did some more research and found that a majority of high schoolers don't understand how bills and laws are made. But to understand any of this, we first have to understand the document that is the DNA for our government and laws, the Constitution. It isn't just a document from history class. It determines what rights we have, what the government can and cannot do. Let me ask you something. Can your school punish you for something you post online? Can someone force you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Can you get in trouble for a prank call? Can your school regulate the content in your school newspaper or remove articles? And if you get stopped by the police, do you actually know what your rights are? If you're not 100% sure, that's normal and you're not alone. But here's the thing. If you don't know your rights, you can't use them. And if you don't use them, they're not really protecting you. Today in America, this is an issue because civic knowledge amongst youth is declining. So people begin to understand less about government and law, which can have a severe negative impact, as studies show that many high schoolers report feeling unprepared to engage in civic life. Civic life encompasses political and community engagement, so people who don't understand what the Constitution means or what government does are less likely to vote later in life. And that's exactly why this podcast exists, to give middle and high school students an understanding of the Constitution, to help you guys gain civic knowledge that will propel you to engage in our democracy. So why does any of this matter? Because one day, we, the students, will be the voters, jurors, community leaders, and decision makers. I believe that every student deserves to understand the Constitution and how it shapes our lives. This podcast aims to bridge the gap between traditional civic education and real-world situations by breaking down complex constitutional principles. We will delve into the origins and motivations behind the Constitution, discuss landmark Supreme Court cases, and learn how some constitutional rights are currently in jeopardy. However, the most important thing we'll discuss together is how these rights apply to our everyday lives and interweave into current events. As Thomas Jefferson once said, educate and inform the whole mass of the people. They are the only sure reliance for the preservation of our liberty. If people don't understand their rights, our rights will slowly fade away. Throughout this podcast, I'll help you learn, use, and apply the Constitution. Let's dive in deep and empower ourselves to be engaged citizens of our country. If you found this interesting, please share it with a friend. In the next few episodes, we'll start to discuss how the Constitution evolved. What were the historical documents that shaped its existence? I'm going to cover these questions in the next couple of episodes. Thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned for the next episode. If you enjoyed listening to this episode, please make sure to follow us on our Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube account, or follow our Constitution Unlocked profiles on Instagram and TikTok.